What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to try and find out what's going on with the Teg. So the other day I took it for a drive and it was a nice clear dry day, so I thought I'll go for a spin, but it wasn't running right. It sort of sounds like it's misfiring, like maybe it's running on 3 instead of 4 cylinders. So I brought it back in. I didn't really have time to have a look at it that day, so it's now a few days later. I'm going to have a look and see if I can find out what's going wrong and why it's going wrong. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've just taken the spark plug cover off. I'm going to start it up and then I'm just going to unplug one coil pack at a time and see if it sounds any different. And what I'm basically going to try and do is find out which ones are firing and which ones aren't. So I'm going to set the camera up and then I'm going to start it up, and I'll do that first and see if we can see if it's which cylinder is the one that's not firing. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys could hear me very well, but obviously I took them out one by one. The first one was good, the second one was good, third one I unplugged and there was absolutely no change in the tone of the engine and no lack of power or anything, so it's this one that's the issue. I did the same with the end one, that was firing fine, so it's this one that is our problem. So I kind of thought it might be the issue, so I borrowed a set of coil packs off a friend, Luke, who's got the same car as me, so I'm going to plug one of his in, and then I'll start it up and see if that's the issue. If I put this one in and it works, then I know that the coil pack's dead, and that's what my problem was. So I'll put that one in now, we'll start it up and see if it fixes it. Unplug. Pop that out. And we'll just I can get it lined up. There we go. Right, get this plugged in and let's fire it up. Then we'll unplug it again and see if it makes any difference. Hopefully it's just that's dead, and then it'll be a nice easy fix. Well, it still sounds a bit lumpy, so unplug it. No difference there, so I think the spark is the issue. Take it all off. Yeah. So, this is our issue, so, yeah. Okay. So it's never simple. Anyway, car life. This is what happens. So, I don't think it's a coil pack. I think the coil pack is absolutely fine. What I'm going to do next, just to test something else, the plug that the coil pack goes into, I'm just going to test that, see if it's got a live going to it, so I know that there's power going to the coil pack and there's power going to the spark plug. Now, before I got it mapped, which is about, I don't know, like 200 miles ago, I put brand new spark plugs in, so I very much highly doubt it's a spark plug issue. I've also got brand new injectors, so I'm not really sure it's that either, but we're going to keep trying, keep testing things and find out what's going wrong. I'm just going to put my coil pack back in and take Luke's one back out. So I can go back up there, go back in. Right, okay, let's go back in. Okay, so, right, what I'm going to do now is multimeter, and I'm just going to test that there's power coming through it. Just put that in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just put this down a little bit more. There. So, I'll put that in there. One of them's an earth, and one of them's a signal. So that's the signal. That's all right. No. Oh. When you do this, it helps if you put your ignition on. Try again. There. Okay, so I had it on the wrong setting. So it's got 11.73 volts to it. So we know it's getting power, so shouldn't be the issue. We've tried a different coil pack, so the coil pack should be fine. So we can sort of, for right now, we can kind of rule out that it's a electrical issue. So next thing I'm going to do is just check that there's power going to the injector. So I've just taken the injector plug off and put my terminal in. So there, so if you can see on the display, 11.7 volts. So there's power going to my injector. So at this point, maybe it's the injector that's dead. So what I'm going to do to find out if it's this injector, I'm going to take my rail off. I'm going to put the injector I think is wrong on this cylinder and put that one on there, and then start it up. If it starts failing on this cylinder, then we know that we put that injector we think is dead on there, and that should tell us, and then it might just be an injector. But if we move it across and it's still not, and it's still this cylinder, then we know there's something else wrong. So I'm going to pull the rail off, change the injector over, see if this one starts to fail. If that does, then we should be good to go, and it should be that one. And hopefully we need to fix. Okay, so the rail's all back together. So this is the injector I think was failing, so I swapped that to here. So that's where the injector is now. This one was there, so that one was working fine before. So we'll start it up and see if this is the issue. So what I'll do is I'll unplug this coil pack here, and if I unplug that and it makes no change to the engine, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be that injector that's died on me. So we'll get it started up and we'll have a look. It's still this cylinder. Okay, so we've still got our issue. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to swap the spark plug from the cylinder that's failing and put it in this cylinder here, and then I'll put this spark plug in there, because I know this one's firing good, so I'll put it in that one, and we'll start up again, and if it's still failing on this one, then we know it's not the spark plug, and it should be the coil pack. We should be able to rule out that spark is the issue. So. When I take that out, that's fine. This one, okay. So, where are we at? So, we checked the spark plugs because we swapped them around in the cylinders that are working, not the spark plug. We swapped the coil packs around, no problems. We swapped the injectors around for other cylinders, that's made no difference. So really, it's sort of leading me now to the injector plug and wiring. But it's got power going to it, but I wonder if it's earthed correctly. So it could really be something as simple as it's not earthed right, and that's all it needs for it to not run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the wire back and see if I can see anything obvious, any issues. Okay, so I've had a look at the wiring for the injector plugs. They all look alright. They're all reading good. I think they're grounding fine. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a compression test on this cylinder, just to see if it's holding pressure, which it should be. So yeah, just something else we can rule out. So we'll do that now and see where we're at. Alright, so I've just done the compression test. We're looking good. We're sort of between 155 and 160 psi, and that's across the board. Now I have actually put an extra battery on just to keep it charged up, because it was dying a bit, and that can affect your results. If you've got a low battery, it's not going to spin the crank as far, and your compression will drop. So I've got a fresh battery on there. Yeah, 155 to 160 psi. So they're all pretty much the same. So I can kind of rule out that that's one of the issues. If it's got compression, it's good. So just gonna have to keep on digging it in and see if we can find out what the issue is. Right, well, still not fixed. But that's probably going to be it for today. I've had enough. I'm tired, I'm hungry, so I'm going to leave it for today and we'll crack on with this tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get there. I'll find out what's wrong eventually. If you guys got suggestions, let me know. I'm happy to try anything at this point, but we will find out what's wrong and we will get it fixed and we'll be up and running in no time, hopefully. So until next video, look after yourselves, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.